From MTN News, this is Montana This Morning.
The suspects accused of killing a Billings man and his one-year-old son appear before a judge.
The individuals involved in all of these violent incidents have little regard for life or property.
Prosecutors say they're involved with local gangs.
The underlying crimes are the most important, and that was kind of our primary focus.
And this morning, we're examining a Montana law designed to keep gang members behind bars longer. Good morning and welcome to Montana This Morning on this Tuesday, December 5th. I'm Augusta McDonald. This morning, a man and woman are behind bars here in Billings, each now charged with 2 counts of murder for a shooting last month that left a father and his one-year-old son dead. Myron goes ahead and Jane knows his gun. Both pleaded not guilty during their first court appearance yesterday. They're accused of firing multiple shots into a home on North 17th Street, striking and killing 31-year-old Kenneth Morrison, whose body fell on top of his 1-year-old. Bond was set at $1 million for both suspects. The shooting was among several in a short time span here in the city that police say is linked to gang violence. Yellowstone County Attorney Scott Twito tells us there is a 1997 law on the books targeting gangs that is yet to be tested in Montana. Twito tells us the law doesn't fit this specific case, but he keeps it in mind. The law was adopted by Montana as part of a national trend of combating street gangs and adds an additional 1 to 3 years of prison time during sentencing. Twito wants the state to revise this law to make it more useful here in Montana.
It's got to be done with thought. We can't be reactionary, and it's hard not to be reactionary now in this community, but we want to do it right.
30 city and county leaders came together yesterday for a public roundtable brainstorming ways to reduce crime in Billings. While gang violence was discussed, Sheriff Mike Linder says one of the area's most pressing problems is domestic violence. Last weekend, 15 people were in jail for domestic abuse. Officials say it's time to focus more attention on protecting people from being harmed multiple times.
Instead of focusing on incarcerating and prosecuting domestic abusers, which will always be part of the process, we need to focus on preventing re-victimization and reducing the available pool of victims for domestic abusers generally.
Many community members spoke in support of a new jail as overcrowding continues to plague the Yellowstone County Detention Facility. Leaders say a county subcommittee is looking into the issue. We'll, of course, continue to follow this very important story here in Billings. But for now, good morning, Miller. How are you?
I'm doing good. Feeling better today, Augusta?
Feel a little better.
She's a trooper. Stuffy. She's been a little stuffy the last couple days.
I'm just so sorry that everyone has to listen to it.
She's been doing a great job, and you have to read all these stories, and you've just been hanging in there. I'm so proud of you.
Yeah, I'm probably not the only one out there. It is definitely cold and flu season, so take care of yourself out there.
Wacky weather out there. Big story, of course, the winds just a whipping out there, and we're getting warmer. Now, yesterday we hit near 50 here in Billings, well above the norm. Overnight low just below 40. That was also warmer than average. We had a top gust of 41 yesterday at the airport. Could still feel that here in Billings. But of course, the western foothills, that's where we're going to see those stronger winds, at least through tomorrow morning. It's been a dry start to the month, still doing okay for the year in terms of our drought conditions. But look at those snow totals, man. We are well in the hole. Now, we may see a little bit of snow Friday and maybe again on Monday here in the lower elevations, but not much of anything is going to come out of that. But we do have another cool down coming through to go along with that moisture. 44 right now at the airport, feels like 37. Winds out of the southwest at about 14 miles an hour across the area. From east to west, we're looking at 20s now. We got some 20s there, 30s, 40s, and even some 50s, some 20s and 30s down in northern parts of Wyoming. There's that gust of 51 in Livingston. You're going to be dealing with that at least through tomorrow morning when that wind advisory is in effect. Still somewhat windy across the rest of the area. Not so much over on the eastern side of the state, but you could still feel breezy conditions. We'll talk about the winds, and we'll talk about that next system coming in that could give us some rain and some mountain snow here in just a bit.
All right, Miller, thank you so much.
Okay.
And bird flu is confirmed here in the county. FWP says the illness is indeed the cause of death for 9 geese found lifeless at a popular park in Laurel. Q2's Charlie Kleps tells us what it means for both park goers and area wildlife.
For many years, Lions Family Park here in Laurel has been a beautiful place for people to come and enjoy the outdoors. But when they visit the park now, they'll be met with a little bit of a surprise as these signs from FWP are warning of a bird flu outbreak that happened here.
You don't know what's in the air.
It's that time of year when the weather starts getting colder and sickness is easily spread. But it isn't just people getting sick. Bird flu is ramping up, just like it typically does during migration season.
I think people should be concerned always when there's a public issue like this.
That flu has made its way into Yellowstone County. On Friday, Fish, Wildlife, and Parks confirmed 9 dead Canada geese found at Lyons Family Park in Laurel over the past few weeks were in fact killed by the flu.
We will probably stay away from the pond now that we know. We didn't know.
As of right now, it's not a huge public health concern.
Chrissy Webb with FWP says it isn't time to panic, even though pets can contract the virus.
People let their cats run around. Cats come down here, see a dead bird, pick the dead bird up, take it home.
Yeah, that's a good point.
There are a few cases of those domestic cat and dogs where those animals did pass away from this. And again, it hasn't been in Montana, and the number of those cases has been pretty few, but making sure you take a few precautions to protect yourself and your pet is really important this time of year.
Humans can also contact bird flu, but cases are rare. Only 11 have been reported globally since December of 2021, with infections ranging from no symptoms to death. But that's why Webb and her department are pushing for prevention and awareness, hanging these signs around the park in Laurel and reminding people not to get too close.
We've seen it in some other species, but it's still relatively rare at this point, so it's not, we don't have to tell people to not go to these places that they enjoy, but just to take precautions when they are at these places.
In Laurel, Charlie Kleps, MTN News.
Charlie, thank you. Changes are on the horizon for helicopter tours over America's national parks. Starting in April, pilots will no longer be allowed to fly directly over park lands. That's already the case at nearby Yellowstone National Park, but these federal regulations will significantly impact businesses near the Badlands and Mount Rushmore. The owner of 5 national park helicopter tour companies tells us his business will take a big hit, but many others are thrilled, arguing the new rules will protect wildlife.
I've also personally witnessed helicopters coming through this area, trying to, kind of peek into Yellowstone a little bit. And they do these kind of area tours where whole herds of elk, I'm talking hundreds of elk, will start running and panicking.
They're basically taking away 9,000 flights from me. They're taking me from over 5,000 at Mount Rushmore and 4,000 at the Badlands, and they're taking every last one of them away.
Glacier National Park began the process of phasing out commercial flights last year. Meanwhile, the National Park Service has released its list of free admission days for next year. You can visit any of the more than 400 national parks on the following days without paying an entrance fee. Martin Luther King's birthday on January 15th, the first day of National Park Week on April 20th, Juneteenth on June 19th, the anniversary of the Great American Outdoors Act on August 4th, National Public Lands Day on September 28th, and Veterans Day on November 11th. Montana's Attorney General is currently involved in a legal battle over TikTok. Now he's filed suit against another social media platform, Instagram. MTN's Jonathan Ambarian tells us why.
Instagram is one of the most popular social media apps in the U.S., especially for teenage users. In a complaint filed in federal district court last Friday, Montana Attorney General Austin Knudsen accused the app's operators of exposing minors to inappropriate content and improperly collecting their data. The lawsuit was filed against Meta, the parent company of Instagram and Facebook, plus a number of its subsidiaries. Knudsen's complaint says Instagram claims on app stores to be appropriate for teens because it includes only infrequent or mild profanity, sexual content, and alcohol or drug references, but that the state and other investigators found using test accounts that it was easy to access more prevalent and heavier content. The complaint also accuses Instagram of violating a federal requirement to get parents' permission before collecting data from a child under the age of 13. Instagram policies require users to be at least 13 years old, and they have to submit a birthday for verification. But the state argues there's no confirmation those birthdays are accurate, and that reports have shown many kids younger than 13 have used Instagram. Knudsen argued these show Instagram has been deceptive and unfair to consumers in Montana. In a statement to MTN, he said, quote, "Meta must be held accountable for its deceptive practices and the harm it has caused. Instagram's intentional addictive design and its failure to address the rampant presence of harmful content on its platform, including explicit drug promotion and sexual exploitation, pose serious risks to the mental health and well-being of young Montanans." Montana is far from the only state that's expressed concerns about Instagram. Earlier this year, 33 states filed a lawsuit in which they claimed that the app had manipulative features that essentially addicted young users. And several other states have filed their own independent suits as well. In Helena, Jonathan Amberian, MTN News.
Jonathan, thank you. And in national news this morning, the field is narrowing. Just 4 Republican presidential candidates are preparing for the 4th GOP debate. Tomorrow night's debate in Alabama will feature Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, former U.S. Ambassador Nikki Haley, entrepreneur Vivek Ramaswamy, and former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie. Former President Donald Trump will skip that debate, as he's done for the past 3. Overseas this morning, the Israeli military has expanded its ground offensive and ordered a mass evacuation of a city in southern Gaza. It's where tens of thousands of Palestinians fled when they were told to evacuate from northern Gaza. This morning, CBS's Chanel Call has more on the worsening humanitarian conditions as Israel hunts down Hamas.
Once a place of refuge for Palestinians fleeing the north, the city of Khan Yunis is the latest target of Israeli airstrikes. Israel's military has issued this interactive map outlining evacuation zones for the nearly 2 million displaced Gazans, but few can see it due to a near-complete internet blackout. Wounded Palestinian civilians are swamping hospitals. 2-month-old Adnan, wounded in an airstrike, now fighting for his life. We came here to the south just like they told us, his father says. What can we do? These satellite images appear to show dozens of Israeli military tanks just north of the city, poised for an expanded ground offensive. Khan Yunis is where Israel reportedly believes Hamas is holding about 130 hostages, including 8 Americans, like 19-year-old Itay Hen.
We do not have proof of life, even after 59 days.
And as hostilities escalate, there is growing concern from hostage families over the safety of their loved ones.
We request a meeting with the War Cabinet to receive updates on the fate of our family members now, not tomorrow, now.
It's been 4 days since the temporary ceasefire ended, and U.S. officials put the blame squarely on Hamas.
Right now, Hamas is refusing to release civilian women who should have been part of the agreement.
The State Department says Hamas does not want the women to talk about what is happening to them while in captivity. Chanel Call, CBS News.
The White House condemned Hamas and the use of rape as a weapon in war. Hundreds of protesters rallied outside the United Nations yesterday, accusing its leadership of failing women. The UN held a special session as well to raise awareness about the use of sexual violence against women by Hamas. And in Boseman over the weekend, the fire department was called to remove a Palestinian flag. Important to note, that is a different political entity than Hamas, hanging from Christmas decorations downtown. It stirred controversy on social media, but Bozeman city leaders say the incident is not under investigation. We reached out to the owners of the building nearest to where the flag was seen, but they say they're unaware of who placed it there or how it got there. Bozeman's Deputy Mayor Terry Cunningham released a statement saying in part the flag is not a city-sanctioned decoration.